Redirecting your anger, because I just had to do it just today. So I'm going to explain to you some different stories to help you, because it's almost impossible, especially if you're, I don't know, if you're someone like I was at 20 who would be very sensitive to people deliberately mistreating you. Now I sort of expect it. But look, you end up at a younger age, some people making very bad choices. And if you can redirect that anger into making choices that make you a better version of yourself in the future, you'll look back and render the person who angered you irrelevant. So I'm going to give you some hypothetical stories which are based upon real events. So you are in your 20s, let's just say, whatever, and you're walking in a supermarket, a mall, a gym, and you will get an absolute idiot who will walk like that because they're so proud of how muscly they are, given, and it's obviously fake muscles, and they don't move because they want you to step out of their way. Now, many of you might have experienced an idiot like that. Now, someone in their 20s might get angry at that person, might want to attack that person, might want to insult that person, might want to study that person's habits and then find a way to, make their life hell. All these type of things that you might have seen on TV or other people or people you know or yourself without having to admit it. And all of those things, not only do they put you in a worse position because they put you in danger in the long term because other people don't forget it and they're acting themselves out of their own weaknesses, not because they think they're wrong. This is the biggest key. So what will happen is that you obviously put yourself at risk, you put your family at risk, you make yourself a worse version of yourself, which means the next time someone wrongs you, the easier you will move into the dark side of yourself. So what you do is every time you feel that anger, you put it into working harder at your job, into studying harder, into being nicer to your family, into trying to understand the psychology of those around you. And every time you do that, you'll feel anger again after a day or two or three. You take that anger and you do the same thing 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 and you keep doing it. Now what happens is about 6 months later, you end up becoming a better version of yourself. You score better at school or university or in your job, or you become better at your job. You understand your family better. They all of a sudden think, oh wow, my son, my brother, my sister is all of a sudden a nicer person. I like hanging out with them all of a sudden. And what happens is that the person who was the idiot who did that stupid thing to you that made you angry in the first place actually becomes a person whom you thank. Some people get angry when I say that for some reason, but some of you might hear this and go, okay, that's a different way of looking at things. And the reason I do that is because you can then use that energy to turn your future version of you into a different version of your future self. So you actually become a different person because you're forcing yourself to modify your behavior slightly over time, each time. One of the key advantages is that you don't do things that would make your life worse. That's a great first step. So you end up getting to the point where now, at my age, what happened today was I understood the psychology of someone who did that to me today. And I just politely moved and let them go. Now, obviously for the first half an hour, the same anger you feel when you're 20, you feel today. And you recognize now, oh yes, I'm feeling that anger's gonna pass. So you breathe and you focus on doing a harder workout at the gym. And half an hour later, you start to realize, oh, you feel sorry for that person because you realize from their patterns of behavior, from the way that they speak, the way they conduct themselves in the gym, that they almost certainly grew up in a very difficult household, have almost no sense of ability to self-validate, and so they are constantly desperate for external validation, and so have to make themselves feel that they are toughest, they are strongest, to make themselves feel good, which is very sad for them that they lack the ability to self-regulate, to get their own self-worth. So you end up feeling sorry for them. In fact, they're an actual victim, not taking away from what they do. So I'm not saying to anyone here who's been a victim of that therefore that's okay. No. But what it does for me is it allows me to recognize that this person is actually acting out exactly what you would expect if someone was not provided education about themselves, about life, about having positive reinforcement, about having this desperate need to show people how great they are. And what's sad is that the metric of greatness is strength, which is easily replicatable replicatable or replicable via machines. And robots soon will come out, which will be 100 times stronger. There's different types of synthetic muscles that are 1,000 times stronger, have different tensile strength. So all of it's pointless. And I get to go back home safe, happy, worked out harder, and continue working on a PhD. So I'm bettering myself, becoming a better version of myself, hopefully. And it becomes easier to forgive someone like that. So for those of you who naturally forgive and those things don't get on your nerves, this is not for you. But for others who maybe have been marginalized, treated as weird, are very sensitive to people being assholes, this type of strategy does work. And it's not a amazing, I changed my life type of thing. No, it's a very slow grind that over the years allows you to not make stupid choices that you would have made 20 years before. And so now I can come out of the gym, make this video, share it with you, move on with my life. So what happened in the end? Nothing. It all was internal.